We had a couple references to Cincinatus, and so real quick, I'm going to tell you the story of Cincinatus, but at the same time, I'm going to tell you something about Cincinnati and George Washington and kind of tie it all together, and then you'll kind of be able to assume what I was saying about Gideon also. So in Cincinnati, there's a statue of George Washington, and he has this toga on, and he looks like Cincinatus, who was a Roman senator. See, back in the day in Rome, they had what was called a co-consulship. And in a co-consulship, you have two presidents. You have a person from each party. Not a bad idea. Check this though. They also had a clause to where in times of national emergency that they could appoint someone a dictator for a period of 6 months. So, there's a Roman legion that gets trapped on top of this hill, and they're surrounded by barbarians and they can't get out. They're at the Senate House trying to figure out how to deal with it, and they can't. They say, this is a time of emergency. We need to appoint a dictator. So, they appoint Cincinatus, who is a senator, but he's not there at the time because he's busy plowing his field. When they go out to the field where Cincinatus is working, they hail him by doing this shit right here. Awe dictator. Awe dictator. You see what I'm doing here? You guys recognize this shit? Awe dictator. That's what they say to Cincinatus when they tell him that he has been appointed dictator of the Empire of Rome and that he has an emergency on his hands. When Hitler says, "Hail Hitler," he's stealing that shit from Caesar. He's stealing that shit from Rome. He's stealing that shit from Cincinatus. Do you think it's a coincidence that Caesar and Kaiser, which used to be the name for the dictator of Germany, have such similar names? A Kaiser, a Caesar? It's the same fucking word. A Tsar? That right there is why Obama's a retard for appointing someone the Tsar of anything in what we claim is a democracy, right? So check this. They tell Cincinatus the situation. Cincinnatus starts heading to town. But on the way to town, he sees people that he was in the army with. And he hits him up. He says, "Hey, man, I'm going to deal with this situation. We got these soldiers on top of the hill. You want to go?" So pretty much by the time Cincinnatus gets to Rome, he's already got it all figured out. He gets to Rome. He gets his legions as they're officially issued to him, and he heads up to the spot. He gets up to the spot, and he waits till dark. They make camp. They dig their entrenchments. He sends someone to sneak through the camp all the way up to where the Roman legion is, through the barbarians, and when he gets up there, they orchestrate a simultaneous attack, where they will attack the barbarians from the flank and the front at the same time, because they can hit both sides, and they just squash. And the whole agreement is that when you see a Roman, you know we won. So they make the charge. They win. It takes about 2 weeks to walk up there, whoop these barbarians' asses, and walk back to Rome. Well, check it out. So the Constitution of Rome says that you get to be dictator for 6 months. Cincinnati knocked it out in 2 weeks. So they asked him the famous Disneyland question. You got 6 months left to be dictator. What are you going to do? Cincinnati's reply is, "I got fields to plow, bros. Bye." And the co-consuls resume power. Gideon, Washington, they both have the same characteristics. So Cromwell is playing on people's thought process that he's going to do that shit when he's not. It's the end of Cincinnati's story / George Washington's story. I hope you got it.